Is the travel lifestyle all it seems to be?
Today's video, we're going to share the reality of travelling full-time, the good versus the bad.
We will come on to some of the worst things about travelling, but for now, let's start with a positive, so stay tuned to the end to see what was really bad.
And just a disclaimer, we have been abroad for the last 2 years from the UK. We've spent 2 years in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, over 2 years, we've actually been away 2 years in Australia. We then spent 2 months travelling Asia.
Yeah.
And now we are in New Zealand. So we've got a pretty good idea now of what it's like
To set up in new countries.
To set up in new countries and new cities multiple times.
Yeah.
And also travel to other countries and stuff that you've never been to before.
Yeah, seems all good sometimes, but there is definitely some...
There's definitely positives and negatives, like there is with anything, but travelling, they're quite extreme.
Yeah, so we're going to share them all right now.
In with some good points.
Yeah. We've got a hot drink.
Beverage. She's weird. She drinks hot
water.
boiling water from the kettle.
It's good for you.
And I've actually got a cup of tea. It's nice. It's not chin chin.
I'm going to start off with the first positive, and for me, it's having no real commitments. Being in our mid-20s, I feel like we're at that age where a lot of our friends at our age are settling down,
having kids,
start getting a house, a mortgage, which obviously does restrain what you can do. Whereas being out here, having no car insurance, no car, no mortgage, no pets, no kids, we can just mess around and really explore in our 20s, which I think is so... I feel privileged to be able to do that.
Yeah, the amount of times we've said, like, if we had a kid right now, we would not be doing this, or if we had to be in a career or something, the best thing is that we have complete freedom to go wherever we want. Providing we've got the money, we can pretty much do what we want.
For example, when we were in Cairns, we were going to settle in Cairns, and then actually within 2 weeks we were like, we don't want to do this, so we moved to Adelaide.
Yeah, it is the amount of times we've just made random decisions because we can, and it is amazing having that freedom.
Yeah, there's obviously different ways how people travel and stuff, which is totally fine, but the way that we're doing it, we just work, travel, and it's worked perfect for us because we'll settle down when we're ready to settle down.
We've made enough.
When we've made enough money.
Meeting so many different... So the next positive thing is meeting so many different people, but more specifically like-minded people. Back home, you definitely meet just everyone's... Well, not everyone's the same, but everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's going to their jobs. Yeah. They're going to the pub after work. Most people are doing the same thing, but when you're travelling, everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's got different stories, and everyone's pretty ambitious as well, because they're obviously moved away from their home, so it's good to be surrounded by that. Also, just moving to Australia and living there for 2 years, you gain Australian friends, and you learn so much about their childhood that was so much different to your own. You learn their different slang, and I just think it's such a... And the whole culture as well. Yeah, like it's just an unreal thing to be able to be part of, and if you just stay in your hometown, you don't really get to experience that at all. Yeah, you obviously got your friendship group and stuff, which is nice, and it's good to always have, but in terms of meeting more like-minded people, I've met way more travelling. Which they also help you learn a lot as well, because there's things that you just learn so much from these people, mannerisms, work stuff, just everything. Work stuff. No, it's definitely a good thing. I've got a headache actually. I think it's all that running around. We do give ourselves a headache every time we do that. Yeah. That's not actually that bad. It's not great. You don't have sugar in it? No, nothing. I'm not on a diet. Next positive thing would be just feeling as if I'm a clump. What are you even trying to say? Kilometre. Feeling that I've oh my god. Accomplished something from being able to see the world. Because I want to be able to tell our kids and our grandchildren how many different countries we've been to, what we've learned, what we've seen, the stories. The stories we've already got is pretty mad, to be honest. Even we talk about them, we're just like, shit, what actually happened? Yeah. That's only just our journey so far. Yeah. And I feel like back home, the only thing I really had to talk about was going on nights out. Yeah. So I just... Which is funny, but it's only so much you can talk about how many times you got drunk. You know? Yeah. And it's not even just the accomplishment of exploring the world, it's the accomplishment within ourselves as well. I feel like we've grown so much as people. I've been sober for 1 year now. I don't think that would have been
possible to do
Yeah,
if I stayed in my
got your friendship group
hometown,
and that.
because there's so much influence, whereas I've actually been able to find myself and who I am from being away from situations and people and influences.
Yeah, it's definitely got rid of that feeling of back home. A lot of the time, you know, when you just go out all weekend and you'd wake up on a Sunday and you'd be like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I used to get that so often back home, not when I got a bit older, but coming out here, travelling and stuff, you don't get that feeling, because in a new place, you're travelling all the time. You feel like you're actually doing something good with your life, not just dossing about.
And I also feel like we've been able to work on stuff we genuinely have a passion for and want to do. We've had time to be able to do that, such as YouTube.
Yeah.
I feel like if I met someone from back home and didn't meet Luke, would I be doing this right now? Probably not.
Nah, that's actually true.
Yeah, because we're away from all that, and it's just so nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the next one on the list is the experiences you're going to have. Obviously, this pretty much goes without saying, but just looking back through your camera roll and stuff is one thing. You're just looking, like, I spend just every day, I'm just on there half the time just looking at old memories.
Yeah.
Like, you make so many memories from doing stuff, so many cool experiences, even just little things.
Yeah, because being in different countries, there's so many new experiences to experience. So I think that's a really, really cool thing.
Compared to back home, where there's not really that much to do.
Go ape.
Go ape. True, if you make the effort back home, there is stuff. But I feel like out here, it's so much more opportunity to do stuff.
For example, just a random Saturday, we went whale watching.
Oh yeah, literally. Think about Saturday back home. You'd either be sat in the pub or you'd be at home or whatever, but we just whale watching. What else did we do? Went sandboarding.
Sandboarding in the desert.
Just stuff that you'll always remember.
And we were still working 9 to 5.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not even.
But the weekends were just insane.
That's another positive, is your days off is so much better.
A good days off.
Yeah,
And
you're not just in bed.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of referring back to Australia now.
But it will be the case here.
It will be the case here. I mean, we've already done some beautiful hikes just being in New Zealand. We've only been here, what, a week?
Yeah,
so
it's very nice.
The next one is life skills. I guess we've kind of touched base with this, but honestly, the amount of situations you put yourself through, for example, finding a job so many different times. Like, we've had to find jobs in different parts of it, in Australia, now in New Zealand. For example, finding a place to live, renting.
Yeah, that's long.
You get so many different landlords and different problems arise.
Yeah, because you're out here on your own, or obviously there's two of us here, there's no one else to fall back on. It's not like you can just go to your parents' house, or you can obviously call people, but you can't just fall back on anyone. You're right in the deep end. You've got to sort everything yourself, which teaches you a lot.
Yeah.
And it makes you a lot more independent and stuff.
Yeah.
We've learned so much about ourselves.
So much about ourselves, like how we cope in stressful situations. I'm not very good at that.
I think you just learned how bad you are.
Yeah, I've just learned how much I
freak out.
I guess how much I rely on the comfort of having my mum there and proper grown-up adults to be able to help me in these situations, because I lived in Manchester on my own at university, but it's completely different to being
You're
out
only
here.
a few hours away from home. Here you're a day away. Minimum.
It's a completely different experience. Like, you are in the big wide world when you're out here on your own.
Which can be scary, but obviously the positives are you grow so much.
You grow so much as a person. You become stronger minded. And when we're a bit older and we come through situations like this, I know we're going to handle it so much better.
Exactly. Compared to if we lived at home, you're just not really that, unless you obviously had some bad stuff happen, you're not really trained to deal with stressful situations so much. Then when it does hit you, when you're like 30, you're like, I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. So it's definitely learning a lot of life skills.
Yes. Yeah. They are the main best things about travelling. There's obviously way more, but we had to put them down into 5 points. They're the main ones.
They're the main ones that we could think of. And now we're going to go on to the bad. We don't like being negative because we are so grateful for what we are able to do.
Yeah. But we're just giving you like a realistic... Because there's obviously going to be negatives to any situation.
So the first one is one that I really struggle with, and that is feeling...
Like a swan.
That is feeling unsettled and uncertain in a lot of situations. For me as a person, I like to know what's going on. I like to be able to control the situation and be able to just know what's going to happen in the end.
It's
basically,
it's the
patience I struggle with, and obviously when for example, we need to go home in December, so that uncertainty that we have to wait to get a job, and there's new visa restrictions, and it's just been a bit harder actually to find a job.
Yeah, especially there's a lot of pressure as well when you're out here.
Yeah.
We're in Perth, we've got to save to go Asia. When we're here, we want to visit home. We make so many plans for ourselves.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time they're quite ambitious, but it's good because it drives us and stuff. But obviously you struggle with the uncertainness of if we're definitely going to save that and make it happen.
If we're going to save that, can we still enjoy ourselves? Are we going to find a house when we move to the country? It's all, I really, really like feeling safe and just stable in one place, which is one of the reasons why I came travelling as well, to help put myself in these situations of uncertainty to make me stronger. But actually I've not really been coping well.
You're fine when you get home, because like I always say, when you move to a new place there's always the first week of madness. Like it's crazy. You're looking for a place, looking for a job, you don't know what's going on, and you really struggle with that. Once we're settled, you're fine. It's just that first week where you just panic.
And I'm just like, I want to go home now, I'm done with this, and it just does take a few weeks, and
you have to give it, because the amount of people that give up and just go in it.
And I do think having Luke here as well, because I do think if maybe I was on my own, it would be more tempting to go home, but he reassures me that everything's going to be fine, even though I know it's going to be fine. But
you just don't like to wait.
It's just them situations, because you haven't got your mum's house around the corner that you just go to, so you really have to try and find a place to live, otherwise money runs out and you're screwed.
So the next bad thing is the fear of missing out on things back home, whether that be with like your family or friends and stuff. Obviously you see your family going out on certain things, you see your friends going out, you do feel a bit left out sometimes. I think you feel it a bit more than me sometimes. But even then, I think sometimes I haven't seen like the boys and stuff in 2 years. Like same with my family, I feel bad about not calling them more and stuff, because I've been away so long. So that is one of the negatives. You do get them feelings sometimes that are completely natural. Just a negative side that you do feel sometimes.
I think especially when you've been away from home as long as we have as well, we have missed out on 2 years worth of family occasions, friends occasions, Christmases, birthdays.
Yeah, quite a bit, to be fair. Actually the Christmases didn't bother me because I was quite excited in Australia at Christmas time.
But I guess I feel like I feel missing out and stuff, but in reality you've got to think, you can't have everything in life. So if we were at home, we'd have all the family stuff and we'd be seeing our family all the time and making memories, but we wouldn't be seeing the stuff that we're seeing out here, travelling.
Exactly.
So you've got to kind of have less to have more, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
And like you're missing out on a few maybe celebrations and stuff, but in reality that's a couple of days a year. The rest of the days everyone's at work, doing their thing.
Everyone's doing their life.
You're not missing out on anything really, apart from like the odd occasions, but you can get over that.
And FaceTime's always a good thing as well.
Yeah, we're grateful for that, to be fair.
Yeah, very grateful. So this one is one I personally as well really struggle with, the feeling of it, and it's having no proper long-term life savings. The thing is with me, everyone's situation is different, but I was at university, didn't really save any money at university, then I only worked for about 9 months afterwards, and that was all purely to go travelling. So every big amount of savings that I get goes again to go on travelling and see the world, and then I have to build it back up again. So that kind of stresses me out, because I want to have a house, I want to have a car with you, like I want all these nice things eventually.
Definitely. It's stressful at the time. I think we're definitely, as we're getting older, we're definitely gradually working out ways that we can definitely build up our income. It's definitely not going into a 9 to 5 for both of us. That's not what we want at all. We want to be doing something we really enjoy and have the freedom, but we're definitely thinking about it more as we get older, about how we're gradually going to build our wealth up while we travel to then get back and settle. But it is unsettling at the time when obviously you spent 9 months working to go, and you spend half of it in a month travelling.
But then again, are you ever going to live them experiences when you've just bought a house and bought a car? So obviously it's each to like everyone's preference. But we can get a car and a house in the future.
Exactly, and we've never regretted spending money on travelling.
No, the memories that we've got would last. Well, they're going to last a lifetime. In our memories in our head.
Exactly, I think that's more important a lot of the time than money.
Yeah, it is. Money's not everything.
Yeah.
Well, it is when you want to go travel.
Yeah, it kind of is, but it isn't.
And like I said, we can just build it up whenever we need to.
So next up is when things go wrong or something bad happens, you are completely on your own.
Yeah.
Whether that be, I don't know, like not necessarily things that have happened to us. You run out of money, you know, something
I'll give
happens.
you one example. When we was in Adelaide, our landlord literally said they wanted us out the next day.
Yeah.
And I had worked the next day. We had not been looking for anywhere to live.
We had nowhere really.
I was like,
did we?
I was like, what are we meant to do? How dare they say that?
Yeah.
Because, so,
Did
if you want to see a story time on all the shared houses that
Yeah,
we've lived
that's
in,
like-
let us know.
got a few stories.
We've got so many stories.
Yeah, but that is an example.
Yeah.
If that were to happen back home, you just
Go back to your
go
mums.
back to your parents. Here, like, you're fucked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd have to book a hotel and stuff, which is obviously in Australia is not cheap. So there's Also, I'm sure you've heard in recent videos, I got very ill in Asia, got the worst food poisoning ever.
Yeah.
Ended up in a hospital in Laos, which, if you didn't know, is quite a poor country.
Yeah.
Definitely not ideal there. If
Yeah.
that happens in a Western country, you feel a lot more comforted.
Yeah.
Things like that just become so much harder when you're not at your home. That's an example.
We've kind of touched base on it anyway, but genuinely just that feeling of having no one around you that you really know can put you in stress again. Next one is feeling lost. Again, this is each to their own. Personally for me, and I don't know if it's you as well, but I guess seeing everyone back home, building a life for themselves, a house, dogs, family, all this and that, it kind of makes you think about a lot and what we want to do. I mean, we know what we want to do, but you kind of just, I don't know, you're thinking a lot, you're overthinking so much. Because
you struggle with that more.
I struggle with that.
I'm very like, I know we're on our own journey.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. I know
Yeah.
that we're going to do what's best for us and it's going to work out.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you'll see something on Instagram or something
and I'm
you'll
like,
be
I should be doing that.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, well, Australia was the best thing I ever did, and I guess a lot of people would have looked at that and been like, wow, I wish I could do that, like, she's so brave for doing that. But then I'm looking at other people and be like, oh, I should be doing that, I should be getting a house, I should be getting a car.
But you always say that and it's not even what you want to be doing.
I know, it's
You're
not-
just doing it because other people are doing it.
I think like there's a little
You need that reminder, don't you?
Yeah, I need a reminder, and there's like a little bit of people pleasing in me, and it kind of reflects on maybe what people are thinking about me or what I'm doing, but then actually it goes the other way, that I'm actually thinking more about what they're doing as well.
Way more.
I guess it's just what I need to work on.
Just the way I am.
Just the way I am. But yeah, everyone's got their, I think girls are more emotional and overthinkers anyway than...
Yeah, I definitely feel the same feelings. It's just we have different ways of dealing with them.
Yeah, and different ways of thinking about them.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. You're alright once you get that reminder, innit?
Yeah, like
when you have that little talk.
Luke's here to constantly tell me the same things that I need to hear, which is good.
Might be 100 times. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically taken my mum's job from her. You have.
Really?
Yeah, you really have.
Yeah, fair enough.
She's like, I don't know how many times I need to tell you, sweetheart.
I know. I don't mind.
Anyway, that was our 5 good things and 5 bad things about the travel lifestyle.
Yeah. Overall, would you say the positives definitely outweigh the negatives?
Oh, the positives 100% outweigh the negatives. I mean, we always say, oh, like, can't wait to go home, but then we're also thinking about permanently living in Australia.
Yeah, we have.
We're always like back and forth.
Our minds are just all over the place. We've got so much we want to do, so many plans, and it's hard to put it all down because you don't know how you're going to be doing for money, you don't know how you're going to feel at the time. That's one thing we've realised, is making plans is hard.
I also feel like once you've started travelling, you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
You want to see everywhere now, so we've kind of got the travel bug, so it's kind of hard to say.
I know, and we're going to see how we feel when we visit home. I think we're going to get a good feeling about whether we want to actually settle back there or whether we want to keep going.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Well, obviously it's all that thing with the family, and when we have kids we'd like our family to be around.
Yeah.
But that's for another video.
That's
anyway.
for another time.
Scammy, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to check out our TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon in another video.
Bye. Oh, my arm's gone really dead.